Welcome to The Daily Dish with Leanne Ely. This is a show about you, your life, and the vibrancy you want. Join us for daily motivation, wise women's tips, and more as we collectively gather together and move the needle in our lives, heart, mind, body, and soul. Now, here is your host, Leanne Ely, and The Daily Dish.
Hello. It's Tuesday. You know what that means? It is Transformational Tip Tuesday. Today I'm going to sing all about it. Lynn is in the house. So is Amber. So is Catherine. So is Lindsay. So is Jenny. That's the dream team, by the way. And there is Mother Hen. Hello there, Nancy. Cheers. Here's to you. Tanya's in the house. We're having a good time. I'm really excited to have you here today because this topic of mine this week, man, oh man, I think you're going to appreciate it, especially if you can see, life is full of paradoxes, is it not? Sarah Preston is in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad you're here. Diane and Lisa as well. Tanya is here. Tanya's going to drop some Tanya-ness on us today, which is fantastic. Noreen's here. Are we going to party or what? I'm so glad you're here too, Jane. Anyway, quick announcements. And don't forget, all of our announcements are parked at savingdinner.com/announcements if you miss any of them. Because we always have something going on and I don't want you to miss a beat, right? A beat. Not a beat like a plant, but a beat as in ba-dum-bum. I'll be here all afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Martha's in the house. Diane is here too. Who has our Saving Dinner pop-up text message thingy? There you go. We have it here. You don't want to miss this week's. We got a fabulous deal. Always something fun happening. We give away stuff like crazy, and it's only exclusively for the folks who are on their phone. All you have to do is text the word join to this phone number, 855-960-3720. You'll be added to our list. Reply yes to the message we send back to you. And remember, always use caps. Make it capitalized. Hello, Denise. Hello, Teresa. Yes, I'm singing. I want you to know about that. I also want you to know that tonight we start the confidence course. This is the last call, y'all. This is it. The 8 weeks to creating confidence. You know, Sarah had a good question when we had the webinar, and she said, can you have confidence in one area and not have confidence in another? And yes, there's an answer to that. And it is yes. We are all often like that. But my point with this whole course is that we can carry confidence with us throughout, thick or thin. That confidence is something, it's a skill set, just as if you were a hairdresser and cutting hair, the more you do, the better you get. This is the whole thing. So I'm delighted to start this whole thing. We've already got 3 hot seats tonight. It's going to be vibrationally way up there. It's high vibe, totally. You can still get your place. We still have room. savingdinner.com/confidence. I'd love to welcome you in. Okay. Hey there, Debbie is in the house. So is our Chris. And I am just really excited to have you all here. Denise is here. Denise, you just kind of squeezed right by me, didn't you? I missed you. Anyway, so there's our girl, Jackie. Good to have you here. So we have a new quote of the week too, which I love. Angie, you will love this one too. It's easier to act your way into a new way of thinking than to think your way into a new way of acting. Now, the reason I love this one so much is because it isn't fake it till you make it, which I absolutely hate because it's phony baloney. It's be it till you see it. When we decided we put on the t-shirt, basically, that's the whole thing. That's everything. Yeah, me too, Margot. I'm so glad you're coming, by the way. So anyway, Gracie's here too. Golly, we're having a full house tonight, along with our Angie. So what am I drinking? I'm drinking hot melt mix. By the way, this is what it is. It's all about exogenous ketones and keeping you in ketosis, and electrolytes, which always make you feel good. That's what I'm drinking right here in this my little drinky poo cup. Just wanted to let you know, because I always get people asking me, what are you drinking? Like, this is crazy. How about organic ACV to be our supplement of the week? Did you know this is a prebiotic? Yeah, it's a prebiotic, meaning that's going to help your gut health. It is also helps with digestive issues. So if you're like me and you just cannot stand the taste, nor can you stand the feeling of the burning of that apple cider vinegar going down your throat, here's a shortcut, and it is fantastic. It's organic ACV in dry form that you take in capsules. Take 15 minutes before you eat and watch the difference on how you feel when you're digesting. It's amazing. On Friday is Q&A. Who has sent in questions for me before? Who has not? Who will do it this time? I'm asking for a friend. Send your questions via email to support@savingdinner.com and put question for Leanne on Friday right there in the subject line. You know I'm there for you. I will answer that question. I will do the research on that question. I will go the extra mile for you. That's how I show up in the world. That's how I want you to show up in the world. That's what it's about. So send your questions in for Friday. I mean, come on. It's the deal. Full bloom. Lord have mercy. It's a coming. It is July 29th. It is July 30th. It is July 31st. The whole time that you're here, you will not have to eat. Well, you'll eat, but you will not have to go out and buy anything to eat or anything. We will be taking care of you. All the details and all the juicy yumminess of the whole thing will be found at savingdinner.com/bloom. It's in person. I'm going to be hugging all over you. You know that. And we will be squealing, we will be screaming, because it will be delightful to finally be together in person. Can you imagine? I can. And I'm so absolutely tickled. I just can't stand it. I've got to just calm myself down, though, otherwise my adrenal glands will be shot. However, I do have this to say. If you can't make it and be here in person, which is a very sad thing, you can at least be there virtually, because we have that option as well. Just go to savingdinner.com/bloom and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. And don't forget, this Monday, we are going to have the sprint webinar again, because our sprint is coming up soon. Go to savingdinner.com/sprint and get your butt a seat. Seats and butts. Butts and seats. That's what I want to see. We get together. This is how you move the needle in your life, by the way. Am I right? Pinky's up on that one. Hey, Patsy, late's better than nothing. I'll take you. I'll take you as you are. And I can't wait to see you and Nancy and Sarah. I know there's a whole bunch of you coming in July. It's great. It's going to be fun. So that's right. savingdinner.com/sprint, and you will be bada boom, bada bing in place. You want that, right? All right. So what are we talking about this week? We are talking about paradoxes and how paradoxes really are a thing. And what we do with them is we don't recognize the whole paradoxical nature of them. Instead, we push back and we say, but it can't be this way. It needs to be this way. When what we need to understand is that paradoxes happen, don't they? They just sometimes land, and there they are. And we talked yesterday, I gave you a few different things that were paradoxical. I didn't know that was a word, but apparently it is. And so if you didn't see yesterday's show, go do that today, because there was a lot of really juicy, needle-moving stuff in there for you. And don't forget, you can always get our show notes simply by going to savingdinner.com and signing up for a daily newsletter. It's really simple to do. And, that's where all the stuff is too. So James Clear said, and you know him, he wrote the Atomic Habits. It's one of my favorite books. I've read it twice and listened to it once. So when a book is that good, I'm going to go there and listen. The reason I love this is because he talks about habit in how it affects your brain and how your brain affects your habit, and how we need to work with our brains instead of fight them or else fool them. And which I really, really appreciate, because, you hear all this stuff and people throw this stuff down. It takes 21 days to build a habit. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Sometimes the timeline is this long, and sometimes it's a whole heck of a lot longer. But there are things that you can do if you understand the science behind how all of this habit stuff works. There is a lot of neural plasticity involved, so much going on. And when we understand that, that's when things change completely. He said this: the natural tendency of life is to find stability. Now, that's what we do continually. We're always looking for equilibrium. We're always looking for that middle ground, that safe spot, the place to land. We do this with our body. We understand equilibrium. We understand homeostasis. And we call this, the scientific term for it is the Goldilocks Zone. Well, not really, but you understand the Goldilocks Zone. Not too hard, not too soft, just right. Not too hot, not too cold, just right. That's what we want. Our bodies want that. Our brains want that. We want that. Our lives ask for it all the time. It's gentle, it's calming, it's loving to be right there in the zone. And we have patterns in our lives. Those are kind of the barometers that we see. For example, of our own homeostasis, the way we eat well or drive through the drive-through. We've got on one side, we're doing things right. On the other side, we're doing things completely wrong. Where's the middle? Well, kind of mix it up a little bit, and we eat well most of the time, but we have some time. Sometimes there's birthdays and we have birthday cake, because that's the Goldilocks zone right in there. Unless of course that's going to cause you to fall down a cliff and not come back, but understand. But it's how much we exercise or not. And if we're not exercising, we act surprised when the doctor says, "Oh, you've got osteoporosis or osteopenia," because we haven't done anything with our muscles and our bones. That's going to happen. So we have to be really cognizant of the fact that what we do or do not do is going to add to, this paradox that's inside of our body. If we're not going to use it, we are going to lose it. We also need to look at just our habits at home. Do we clean up and put away after ourselves, or we just leave it out all over the place? Habit or not? And what's the middle ground there? And then staying in touch with people. Are we connected? Are we in a community? Or are we isolated lone wolves all by ourselves, not in any kind of relationship at all? Or do we go to the middle place, and do we reach out and find our people? That's all the Goldilocks zone there. And we all settle into our own versions of what that equilibrium looks like. There's some people who are, just by nature of who they are and how they're built, they just need a little bit more, and a little bit more stuff, more people in their lives. They need more time with people. And there's other people who need a little more time alone to recharge. Extrovert, introvert, that's how that whole thing works. But the contentment or disconnect of our daily lives is based on the feedback loop of our daily evaluation. Did we follow through, or did we fall apart? Have you done that? Have you analyzed your end of the day and go, just wasn't that great a day? Or, oof, really didn't follow through on much of anything today? Well, the feedback is based on the equilibrium of our habits, and it's a delicate balance of environment, of potential, and of tracking. That's how this whole thing works. This is what James Clear says. You set up an intentional environment that's going to support the life that you want to live, and you also check your potential. Do I have the potential to do more? Do I have the potential to expand on this, to up level, to grow? And then you track what it is that you're doing. Have you noticed that when you take the time to measure, that things improve? That's a Peter Drucker quote, by the way. What you measure improves. And this is something that I have started to get really into right now. Is I'm tracking my food log for right now, because I think I'm being a little bit dishonest with myself. So you have to check in, and you have to get down to it, and you have to check your hydration. And your hydration's easy. because you got empty bottles at the end of the day. But the food part, maybe not so much. Maybe you're just kind of putting it in there. So we got to take a look at that. The deal is, until we try to make any changes, we hardly notice any of it, even if we're in our discontent. We're just kind of going by. It is not conscious. It's in our subconscious. So the paradox is when we hear stuff like massive growth demands massive change. Well, biologically, physiologically, psychologically, that's nearly impossible to do. Nobody changes like that. We don't. We require incremental change. That's the paradox of this whole thing with change, is that there has to be some patience and kindness and self-lovingness in part of the mix, right? I love that part. Because why? It's just what James Clear said. We are always looking for stability. It's unstable to make too many changes at one time. It's unstable. Also, when you're just trying to completely overhaul your life. And the chances of you being able to do all of that right then, right there, and all at one time are slim to none. A little bit here and a little bit there. I mean, there's also times where you are sitting across from a doctor and getting some bad news, and you got to make some dramatic changes. But that even can be done as long as the intention is behind it, and as long as you do these whole things of setting up your environment, understanding your potential, and start tracking things. Your life's on the line, and your vitality and your health and your vibrancy and everything else is on the line. These are the times when we have to make, those big monumental quantum leaps. But for the rest of the time, when we're just desiring change and we're not under the gun to do it, it's incremental. And incremental change is the thing that our brains can handle, right? So we don't want to fight our brains. We don't want to fight our biology. We don't want to fight any of it. We want to get to the place of the Goldilocks zone. So even if it feels like you attempt to change, sometimes your best efforts just go to pot. Even as you are trying to do all the things that you're trying to do. And oftentimes what it is, it's just too much at one time. You know exactly what it is. So here you are, you're saying, I'm going to have this new meditation habit, and you're sitting there and you're listening. You've got your earbuds in and you're listening. It's beautiful music, and you've turned the lens inward. You peacefully practicing your breathing, kind of getting into the groove, and the dog throws up on the carpet, right? What are you going to do? Just sit there and, you take your earbuds out, you go clean it up, because that's what you have to do. Or you're in the middle of sprinting, and what happens? Your husband says, oh, honey, I just love you, and here you go. Here's a big box of your favorite chocolates. That's a disruption. Or maybe your electricity goes out and you're watching a YouTube video and you're sitting there, pumping away, and then boom, there goes your workout. Out the door. We have to recognize that it's a battle with circumstances. Circumstances happen whether we want it or not. It's a battle with your brain. It's a battle with your schedule. It's a battle with the energy that you have inside of you. And the energy shift to make that all happen, well, you're being tapped on your shoulder. You're being tapped on your shoulder, and you're asked to come alongside and take a breath and start searching for and finding your own personal Goldilocks zone. Because how it looks for me isn't necessarily how it's going to look for you. And that's perfectly all right. That's why we have to take a step back from comparing ourselves. Oh, well, so-and-so does this, so therefore I need to. No, not at all. So-and-so has 4 kids at home. You have none. Or they're working a full-time job and have to commute an hour to get to their place, or whatever it is. We have to stop the comparison, because the comparison removes us from the ability to find our own personal Goldilocks zone. So we have also this is the other thing that we have to look at. We've got 2 different things, right? We've got this point A of stubborn, I don't want to do it. I don't want to work out, or I don't want to fill in the blank of whatever your I don't wanna is. You can fill in your blank. I'm sure you have an I don't wanna right now that you could put in there. And then over here is point B, which is going too hard and burning out and just losing it all. And right here in the middle is the Goldilocks zone, where you do a little bit of this and you make a little bit of an attempt to do it. You use your tools. You kind of track it and you say, I'm going to block this much time to make it happen so that I can have exactly what it is that I want. It's amazing what happens when you do it. So this is the good news. Change comes in incremental little bits. Just like I said, you get better sleep. If you want to get better sleep, start going to bed 15 minutes earlier. Remember, we all have the Goldilocks zone for every single human on the planet is our circadian clock. And our body is the one, and the moon and the stars and everything, the way the earth rotates. I mean, that's how it's made up. That's how we fall asleep when we fall asleep and where we get our best sleep. There is healing involved. There is deep restorative sleep involved. There's all kinds of things that happen when we sleep, including scrubbing our brain of all this, little plaques in there. We don't want to end up with Alzheimer's, right? So if we are understanding that, then we're going to want to figure out a way to get the very best possible sleep that we can. We start 15 minutes earlier. That'll make a difference. Number 2 is consistent exercise. Well, guess what? To begin the habit, you set up your intentional environment. You put your exercise clothes out first thing in the morning, and you put them on first thing in the morning, because this research is super clear that she who gets it done earlier in the day is the one who has it done, has that big check mark next to exercise on her list of things to do. It's harder to do later on in the day. Ask me about it. I've tried. Haven't been able to make it work. I now do it first thing in the morning, and I'm out the door to walk with Lincoln at 9:45 every morning without fail. Better eating. Well, you know how that happens? Well, here's your Goldilocks zone. You curate your own pantry. You do not have to be the victim of Madison Avenue hype and garbage cereal and garbage. Let's just face it. Most stuff that lives in a pantry is a bunch of snack stuff, right? What else is in a pantry? Maybe some spices, maybe some ghee, maybe whatever, some canned tomatoes, those kind of things, sure. But we have to remember that the snack food industry is really trying to make a buck off of us. They put all kinds of stuff on their label. Have you noticed that? Low fat, high in fiber, good for you, wholesome, natural. Yeah. Okay, good luck with all of that. We all know it's garbage, right? Garbage. So if we're going to do it, we're going to curate our pantry. We're going to plan our meals. I know you don't like to plan your meals. I get it. So go get yourself a Dinner Answer subscription. Easy. And now you are set. Now you're going to eat the way that you are intending to eat, and you will have the food in your pantry to do because there's a grocery list there. Ta-da! Pretty easy, right? I get all of that, and that's one of the reasons we developed this 21 years ago. But the main thing is that when we eat by a plan, when we plan to eat, we plan to fail. We plan to succeed. When we don't, and we're just shooting from the hip, I don't even have to tell you, that's way not Goldilocks zone. That's falling apart. That's always beating yourself up when you go to bed at night and waking up in the morning saying, today's going to be better. That is not Goldilocks. That's not comfortable. That's not just right. That is a continual loop. It's a negative loop, and it's the one that we're trying to break here. You get to that place simply by being conscious of this pattern is interrupting my vibrant life. That's all. And when you recognize that, then it's your responsibility to step into it and pull the plug, because you have the ability to do that. Dennis Morton, who is on Peloton, he's one of my favorite instructors. He always says that I make suggestions, you make decisions. And I love that so much, because that's the truth. And I sit here and I say this to you today. I make suggestions, You're the one who has to make decisions, and you're the one who has to live in your little fleshy container. And does it feel good? That's my only question to you, and you have the answer to that. Feeling good is the Goldilocks zone, by the way. A better mindset. Well, how can we get a better mindset? Well, we surround and curate our environment again. Back to the whole thing. What are you seeing visually? What's beautiful and lovely? Here's something that I have. And by the way, is Joanne here? Joanne sent me the most beautiful note and birthday card, made me cry, and so did Tiffany. I just wanted to say thank you to that because they're so sweet. But Mark gave me this most beautiful card, and it's sitting on my desk because it filled my heart. It's beautiful and it fills my heart. I have this mindful mug sitting on my desk because it kicks me in the butt. I want things to remind me of who I am and what I'm about. Do you hear me on this? Get out a quote deck, right? Your quote deck is going to have something that's going to remind you and stir the pot of who you are and what you're about and living a vibrant life. And that, yes, you have the potential, you have the ability to do just about anything that you want to do in this life. The possibilities are endless. We see that when we use our quote decks, when we use our mindful mugs. Those are tools. And it helps to curate the gray matter between our ears. So the paradox of change, you work with it, not against it. You create small, incremental incremental changes. You don't just completely change everything all at one time. And you don't trash your life and start over. Sometimes we think maybe that's the way to do it. Maybe we're just so disgusted with everything. But I'm here to tell you that that's just not, that's not the case. That's not the truth. This is the thing that you need to know and understand, is that you're perfectly beautiful and wonderful exactly the way you are right now. The paradox of that is that when you accept that, then you have the capability and the tenacity and everything else at your fingertips to make the needle move and change into the direction that you want for whatever it is that you want to do. And I know that that this idea of trashing your life and starting over, not only does it not work, it absolutely is going to upset everything and just drive you back into that same negative loop. That is not what we need. What we need is to change a little bit at a time and understand that when we change just this little bit and just fine tune a little bit of some stuff here, maybe some environmental stuff, go curate your pantry, things like that, set up a hydration station. Those things are small, but they're huge needle movers. And when we do that, we alter our normal, and this becomes the new normal. These healthy habits that are supporting the vibrant life you want to live. Because at the end of the day, our vibrant lives are all predicated on the health that we are building in our own lives. Because without that, we just can't attain that life that we want. So tools I recommend: meditation, mindful mugs, a time block sheet. Use a time block sheet. We can find them at savingdinner.com/time. If you're wondering, I don't have time for this, or I don't know where my time is going. This is just all it is hour by hour put on a sheet where you can just kind of track yourself for the day and then find where your time is going. Because oftentimes we just, check out and sit on our phone for hours scrolling when in fact, and then thinking we don't have any time, we have some time that can be redeemed into something that we want. And then also, of course, your Take Back Your Life journal and quote decks, all of that stuff. And I think we have a few things left from our big sale. That's at savingdinner.com/sale. You can get half off on all the things that I just mentioned, the quote deck, the mindful mug, and I think we might have one or two Take Back Your Life journals. But you're worth the incremental small changes that will bring you a vibrant life, because this is everything. If you don't like where you are right now, incremental change is going to get you to where you want. Remember, not too hot, not too cold, just right. Goldilocks Zone. Pinkies up. The paradox of the Goldilocks Zone. I am very much looking forward to seeing everybody tonight in, Nancy, thank you. She says the Take Back Your Life journal changed her life. I love it. That's so beautiful. If you missed the announcements at the beginning of the show, you can find them at savingdinner.com/announcements. This is where you'll find the supplement of the week and all the special deals, events, etc. coming up, including webinars. And tomorrow, we're going to be all about Wise Women's Wednesday, continuing on our theme of paradoxes. I love you all, and I appreciate you for showing up, for sharing, and all that. And don't forget to go see us on TikTok. We're blowing it up, y'all. Peace be with you. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Check back for new episodes. If you missed the live show, you can always watch the replay. You can find Saving Dinner on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Until next time, pinkies up.